Renter's insurance. Who needs it and when do you need it? It's actually a lot more of a complicated question than most people would assume. There are a couple of different applications. First, one of the biggest, I call, misconceptions is you're student away at school, because your homeowner's policy affords some off-premises property coverage, and there's a lot of situations where that student away at school is still a dependent resident relative, so they're covered as an insured for liability purposes too, maybe not. But the simplest thing to do is to buy that student what's often $150 to $250 per year renter's insurance policy. Why? Because let's say you have a nice middle-class house insured for $300,000. You probably have $150,000 in property coverage, and you probably have 10% off-premises property limit coverage, meaning $15,000. So let's say your student has a flood, fire, whatever it could be in their apartment off campus, and $15,000 should cover all their stuff, right? Wrong. We find time and again that even a college student, when you go through their clothing, their furniture, their electronics, etc., can have well north of $25,000 in property that's at risk in that apartment. As well, do you really want to have a claim against your homeowner's insurance in, say, Tampa, filed by your student who's in, say, Chicago? Especially in a homeowner's insurance market where underwriting is getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and loss history matters more and more and more. That's a great application for that $150 to $250 a year renter's policy. Another situation is when you've got a secondary home or you own another residence that you have someone who's a family member living in. You own the home, but Uncle Joe lives in it. Uncle Joe really needs a renter's policy. You can look at what your policy language says, and maybe there's some coverage for Uncle Joe and his things, but the cleanest, best possible way to make sure that if something happens is for Uncle Joe to have that renter's policy. Not only would it cover his belongings and liability on the premises, but an example I love, kind of a little hyperbole, but it happens to use, is let's say Uncle Joe is walking down the supermarket aisle with his shopping cart and he bumps into little old lady and she falls and breaks her hip. There could be a large claim there just to get her hip back into shape. That's where liability protection comes in, and that's where that $150 to $250 value of that renter's policy really shines through. So renter's insurance is something that's often not thought of or isn't valued enough, or is thought of as this kind of, oh, it's just another couple $100, I don't need it. You do. So give your independent insurance agent a call. We're here to help guide you through when it's appropriate to have renters, advise you on when you need it and when you actually might not.